Welcome to another edition of President's Corner with Parallel Employment Group. I am Kirk LaDu, the president of Parallel Employment Group. Today we are joined by our account rep in the Buffalo, well, all of the Western New York market, Chelsea McCann. Chelsea, welcome to President's Corner.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Chelsea, you're relatively new to Parallel Employment Group. How has your experience with Parallel Employment Group shaped your approach to sales?
From the very first time I talked with the VP of sales at Parallel, it was clear to me that the way I approach sales and the way Parallel approached sales was very much in alignment. Of course, the learning is ongoing, and any good salesperson will be first a listener. So at Parallel, I have been supported and encouraged to continuously learn about our clients, our key industries, and what their needs are. So from there, I'm able to fine-tune my approach with new and existing partnerships to strengthen our working relationships and make sure we are outpacing their expectations of staffing.
Great. We're in a challenging labor market all over the country, but every market has its own unique challenges. What are some of the unique staffing challenges that businesses in Western New York face?
Buffalo does have some unique challenges that come with the area. One would include seasonal demands. Depending on the time of year, certain production will begin or shut down with the season. Our clients might experience huge fluctuations in staff during that time. Businesses might need quick scaling of staffing levels because of that. Weather disruptions can be part of it. We've all heard of Buffalo's lake effect snow. So harsh winters can impact bus routes and school schedules, and that can affect employee attendance. So this is something that every Buffalo business is going to have to contend with at some point. And additionally, many of the businesses in the area might be looking for candidates with similar skilled roles. So finding candidates with the right expertise can be challenging for Buffalo businesses as well.
Okay, great. How does Parallel Employment Group, in your opinion, tailor its solutions to address the competitive nature of the Western New York job market?
Well, we do understand the importance of working seamlessly with our partners so that they don't skip a beat. Part of that is going to show with our rapid responses. Time is absolutely critical to all of our partners and to me. We work quickly to understand each client's specific needs and provide qualified candidates in a timely manner that will minimize downtime and assist in maintaining production schedules for our clients. Staffing requires our team to expect the unexpected. So there are times that we receive less than 24 hours heads up on what staff will be needed at a specific client. We prepare ourselves for that scenario so that we can act quickly. I also like to say that we've had a 15-year head start in the area. We've been working with people in the area, and our recruiters have been building our pool of candidates for 15 years locally. And with that comes a strong database of trusted, pre-screened, reliable workers and recruiters who know what qualities to look for when filling these roles, and will know which talent is going to last in those positions. So we do offer flexible staffing options to help our clients adjust to changing demand, whether it's temporary workers for a short-term project or permanent staff for long-time growth. Being based in Buffalo, I'm continuously diving into industry events and manufacturing news to ensure I understand the local job market, labor trends, and specific challenges businesses are facing. So, all in all, it takes being present, being part of the daily operations at our clients as well, and checking in at every level, whether that's the employee level and making sure we get in front of things on the employee level, or on the business side, managing expectations on a daily and weekly basis. All of those are part of it.
I'd also add that that I know you're familiar with this as well. There's a lot of legislative challenges that employers in New York face that are a little more cumbersome than what we have in our other markets. And so that can also impact the staffing challenges. I know you've dealt with that as well. One of the things since you've been with us that I think we've all been impressed with is your ability to build relationships with especially potential clients. How do you approach building relationships with potential clients?
Well, from the very first conversation, I am very aware that everything I say, all of the actions that I do must be truthful, transparent, and relevant. So building that trust does take time, but in this industry, it is especially important that we can prove ourselves as a partner to our clients, not just a last case scenario vendor. So I like the client to know that their time is valuable. So it's my goal that if they tell me what their needs are, they will not have to repeat them again. Taking notes, doing research, and asking questions is going to be the bulk of the communication if I am doing my part correctly. Secondly, communication. I'd rather over communicate than under communicate. A client should never have to reach out for an update or ask where something is in the works. No matter where we are in the process, it's routinely and clearly communicated by myself or our team. Whether it's providing updates on candidate searches or addressing concerns, that's a huge priority. I dedicate my time and career to be a resource for our clients, to have valuable insight into the market. And as we mentioned, we're not just interested in short-term placements. We want to build long-term partnerships. So we're continuously checking in, gathering feedback, and changing our approach.
Yeah, you hit on some things that I think are really important. Number one, you said you want to over communicate, not under communicate. The other thing that I think you hit on was you want to be a resource. And part of that is, as you said, understanding the labor market, the labor trends. But I also think what you do is you would rather under promise than over promise. And I'm not trying to search our industry. We have a lot of real quality competitors that we respect, but there's also a lot of pie in the sky promises being made out there. And what that does, as we've talked about, is that just hurts your credibility. And that's not a way to gain a long-term partnership or trust from the clients that we really want to respect and trust us as resources. So I think that you really hit on that. that is important. If you want those long-term relationships. As I just mentioned earlier, we have a lot of competition that we really respect, competition that when we hear their name, we're like, okay, they're good. This is going to be tough. But we do still like to believe that there are things we do that separate us. And I'm just wondering what, in your opinion, sets Parallel Employment Group apart from other staffing agencies in Western New York?
One thing that I know is absolutely true at Parallel, what sets us apart is our dedication to our customers, how hard we will work for them, how quickly we will communicate and are able to find quality talent for them. Our entire team's deep understanding of the local Western New York job market is truly part of our partner's success for many years.
Okay, great. What's the most challenging part of your role? And I guess this is interesting to me because you are not new to sales. As I said earlier, you have a lot of experience in sales. You're new to sales and staffing. And so I am curious what the most challenging part of your role regarding sales is in the staffing industry.
I would say that the most challenging part has a lot to do with the things you can't change. So managing the balance between what the client expects and what the realities of the job market is. So when you're working with people, variables such as skill shortages, high turnover rates, that can make finding the perfect fit more challenging. So I think a lot of this can be mitigated by setting realistic expectations from the get-go and making sure you have those conversations from the start to ensure that the solution provided is timely and accurate and good for all parties.
And I mean, you really hit on it. Our product is service. the service we provide, but the end result of that service is people. And that is the most unpredictable product in any market. And I do think that creates a unique challenge that I don't care what you've been selling. When you come from outside to inside sales in staffing, that becomes to me the real adjustment. What is your favorite part of working in staffing?
My favorite part of working in staffing is making new connections. I love seeing those connections have a hugely positive impact on our clients and our team and on our employees, helping a company run seamlessly by providing them with the right people. And knowing that I've contributed to some of that success is incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, and I think one thing we've already seen in your early tenure with us is, we have two clients. We have the client customer, the employer, but we then also have the client employee. And our job is to try and bring them together so that they both feel like we have been beneficial to the goals they're trying to achieve. And I think I've seen that you kind of appreciate both sides of that. This is a big in any sales, but what everybody's looking for, you just look at the ads, need self-motivated person, et cetera, et cetera. But it is important. How do you stay motivated in a role that's so fast-paced and client-driven?
I stay motivated by focusing on the bigger picture. As long as I am doing right by Parallel's commitment to excellence, then I'm doing right by our clients. It requires staying organized, setting clear goals, celebrating those new connections and little wins to keep the momentum. But ultimately, I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah, great. Finally, what advice would you give someone looking to partner, not just with a staffing agency, but partner with Parallel Employment Group?
My advice would be to choose a staffing agency that takes their time to understand you, understand the business, understand your specific needs. Look for a long-term partner who can offer a tailored solution, not just a one-size-fits-all approach. Sometimes I hear partners tell me that they've heard from staffing companies that they just got a rate for services without having a conversation with that staffing company. And that's a point of concern, because if they are offering you a rate that they, did not have to qualify with any kind of conversation, that's a rate that they could just offer anybody, and that's not competitive. So making sure that you're partnering with somebody that you communicate with, you're working with an agency that values transparency, is proactive at addressing issues, is checking in with you, and is focusing on the long-term partnership. Those are going to be the staffing companies that you are going to want to work with to ensure consistent, reliable support.
Yeah, I think anytime you would take a one size fits all, it's almost like a doctor offering a diagnosis without seeing the patient. That does kind of lead me to one thing that I will tell you I personally have been very impressed with you, is how you have dived in to really try to become an expert in our industry. As I said, what we're selling is a service, but the biggest part of that service that we're selling is we are experts in employment. We are not just a staffing company. It's why we don't have staffing in our name. We are Parallel Employment Group because that is what we consider our expertise. Obviously, recruiting is a large part of employment, but we like to think that we're also available if you need, if you need information on workers' comp, unemployment, etc. And you have done as good a job as anybody we've ever hired in such a quick time of really building your knowledge of this industry. So I would like to ask you just, what tools, what is it you think you've done, and what do you rely on to try and build that knowledge base?
I think that it's going to be important to not rely on just one technology or one group or one organization to teach you the ropes in this industry. It's going to come from a multitude of different places. So making sure that you're up on your local manufacturing news, that you're part of groups, that you're talking to people in the industry, that you're working with professionals, whether it's an American Staffing Association or in the staffing industry. A lot of this is going to come from multiple different sources, whether it's on the manufacturing end or in staffing. to make sure that you know what's relevant and what is going to be helpful to your partners. Anybody can learn a book, but once you are able to apply that to what is going on every day in the manufacturing and production world, that's what's going to be valuable. So I'm trying to take a working knowledge into an everyday productive knowledge.
Yeah, and as you said, every day, because things change all the
Yes.
time. The challenges that we're facing right now today are different challenges than we were facing 3 years ago. Certainly different challenges than we were facing 6, 7 years ago. It is always changing. So I will say, as I said, we are so excited about the future in Western New York, and a big reason for that is you and the talents that you bring. And so we're really looking forward to an exciting year in Western New York, and we encourage all of the potential clients out there to reach out to you and give Parallel Employment Group an opportunity.
I am
So,
equally as excited to be at Parallel and equally as excited to connect with the clients. So thank
okay.
you, Kirk.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today.